Recording.
Okay, and I have to tap okay. All right. Welcome, everybody. We have Dr. Ariel Policano here, and she's going to be telling us about her journey, about how she found the genius, and we're going to be talking about the genius. We'll do a live demo. We will also have time for Q&A. But first and foremost, I would like to welcome everybody and say I'm so glad that you've made it because this is some important work in my opinion. I've certainly benefited from the genius for over 3 years now. And so is my dad, who was in stage 4 cancer a year ago, well, a little more than a year ago, and on perpetual chemo, and he's out traveling right now. So that says a lot to me. It's because of many different factors, of course. Oh no, okay, I have got to thank you that I had a call coming through. I forgot to put this on. Hold on just a second here. I am going to go on. Okay, do not disturb. There we go. So yeah, I've overcome so much with the genius. It was just 3 years ago. I was living with Lyme disease. I had extreme CPTSD. I'd been hit by a drunk driver in 2017. Had a lot of neurological issues to overcome after that. And that just was some of the last in the chain of why does this people still keep trying to call me? Okay, that was kind of the last of many different traumas that I had experienced growing up because I have overcome some of the most extreme trauma on all levels, including spiritual. And I feel like I don't even have these disorders anymore. I don't feel like I have I have symptoms of all kinds of things, but it's nothing that's not manageable. And there's an important thing that I want to say in the beginning of this, and it's about using these kind of systems to heal. Because so many people talk about, oh, well, we don't need these things, are outside of ourselves. And this is an organic system. This uses the power of your voice to look into the frequencies, to give you the balance and counterbalance what's going on within you. And neurologically speaking, I think it's one of the most powerful tools that we could be using right now. And there's nothing outside of ourselves that, especially in these organic systems, because we're in a golden age of light right now. We are moving into these organic systems, and only the benevolent is going to come through. Only the benevolent is going to be able to heal you. So anybody that's afraid of these kind of things, I say, hey, let that go. Be open your mind to learning from what we have available to us. And yeah, with that being said, I want to welcome Dr. Ariel Policano, and thank you for joining us today. I think she has to unmute.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much, Kelly. It's like really fun to work with you and like-minded people. And people who are here, do people use any energy medicine? Do you guys are you energy medicine practitioners? Do you use other tools? Can we say in the chat like what are you using? Do you use some technology? Do you use Reiki? Do you use acupuncture? Are you a healer? Do you use things like matrix energetics? What types of things are you guys into that are related to energy healing, so I can know a little bit more about what you guys know? Not tech, but the emotion code. So Liz says the emotion code and being a shamanic healer. Is that Brad Nelson is the emotion
Yeah.
code? We're trying to get him to check out the genius and see how it fits into his paradigm, because you can test a lot of the parameters from the emotion code on the genius. And if anybody wants to download the genius for 14 days, we would be happy to personally share with you some frequencies that we've developed for testing the emotion code. And let's see, TAT, Kareen, tapas, acupuncture technique, Reiki, and shamanic journeying. Wow, that is so great. So we're just trying to see where everybody is. Kareen, hi. Okay, thank you. That's really, really cool. And shamanic journeying. The thing that I'm noticing about what you do is you're able to recognize that we all have a field of energy that runs through us in your work. That is the thread that kind of combines all of the Reiki, the TAT, the shamanic journeying. You're tapping into the energy field within the person, the divine chi, universal consciousness that comes through as the individual. And if you think about our allopathic model is so funny because it actually doesn't really acknowledge that there's spirit, that there's chi. And so in that way that it doesn't really have the true way that we are, right? It's not really telling us the truth about who we are, then it's limited in some way. And probably all of you here on here have noticed that at some point in your life and probably completely exited the medical paradigm or are very skeptical of it. So I'm getting thumbs up from Liz and getting a few head shakes and everything. Thumbs up from Kelly. Lawrence says an SE5 2000 instrument. Is that a Rife machine or what is it? A photonic energetic machine? What is the nature of that so I can know a bit more about it?
It's a scalar energy instrument with
Okay,
like a
SE,
built-in
scalar energy.
database. Yeah, that
Yeah.
has a database in there for all the for all the frequencies, and you just type in whatever you want to work with or check, and then it gives you the amplitude of that frequency wave that you put on there. You know what I mean?
All right.
So then that's all it does is it gives you the amplitude of the wave. And for non-positives, you want like small waves, and for positives, you want like big waves. And then you could correlate the data, and then use catalysts to make the numbers go up or down, kind of like a muscle test in a way, but with data.
Way cool, way cool. Well, we're going to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
talking
it's
about
super
this
cool,
as a
man.
muscle test too, so you will be very
Uh,
much in the know. Thank you. I really appreciate it. So I'm reading just a few other ones that we have here, like the Skio and Reiki and everything. So I love all of you because you're all very much in the world of energy and vibration, and so it's easy for you to understand some of the concepts. And even the SE 2000, you may find a very wonderful correlation between the two. And you may find that it's really fun to use both of them together because you're already way advanced. Like you really understand this stuff at a core level. Well, I'm a naturopathic doctor. I'm actually a trained naturopathic doctor. Like I went to school in Portland, which is where I still am, and decades ago. And I learned all about naturopathy, but I was really interested in vibrational medicine and I discovered the field of quantum biofeedback, and I discovered there are very big machines, big boxy machines that you can utilize. And the reason that I was so interested is even our Chinese medicine mentor said, make sure you get a technology that can help you to read the energy. And he was referring to like EAV, electroacupuncture according to Vol, or like the quantum biofeedback, the Vega machines, things like that. And so I sought that out and I discovered some of them. In 2013, I discovered what is now the Genius, and I just really connected with the developer, became more of the medical adjunct of this. But the reason was because it was an instrument of empowerment. And it is a technology that isn't widely talked about where you can tap into universal consciousness. You can have a sense of knowing. You can ask the Genius through the development of the ability for you to create what are called libraries, your own personal sets of frequencies. You basically can inquire about anything. And I've created over 1,300 of these types of frequency libraries based on my knowledge of the body, physiology, anatomy. And so you can test all the muscles, all the joints, all the ligaments. You can test all the emotions. You can test conditions. You can inquire about the reason for a condition. It's so important when you have knowledge and you can check in and what's going on in your body, your mind, your spirit, then you gain so much ability to navigate your life. And so the Genius is like a muscle test for all of these parameters. And we're going to show that in an example today. And it uses the voice, it listens to the different tones of your voice, it looks at your picture. And there's something about it that I think is even beyond the technology. I think it works in the quantum field and it seems quite magical. and it's able to pick up very fascinating information, pieces that you couldn't possibly know yourself, but you don't necessarily want to pay thousands of dollars to go see a doctor. Like, as of today, we're really told that's the only way that we can discover information about ourselves. In kinesiology, at least we can do muscle testing, but it's very cumbersome. And so the Genius allows you to speak for 15 seconds and then within about 30 seconds, get a complete scan of thousands of items to learn more about where you are, which one of your organs is the most weak, what are the minerals or vitamins that you're most needing, what is the part of your thyroid that is not working correctly. And although we don't say these are exact diagnoses for reasons in the medical field that you all understand, I have found over the years that it so correlates with what the patient's symptoms are. Recently, we did a research project to have people balance themselves every single day for 15 minutes for 8 weeks. And we gave them questionnaires every week to ask about their symptoms, and their symptoms of pain, their symptoms of fatigue, their symptoms of sleep imbalance. All the symptoms improved 50% over the course of 8 weeks. And even my longtime users were amazed when they just used it in a consistent way with the same, even just with the same frequencies every day for the 8 weeks, how much improvement that they had. So as a naturopath and then moving into the field of vibrational medicine, it's just been really fun. And every day that I bring this technology to people, it's very satisfying because they can take this and run with it and use it to heal themselves, use them to discover, and even use it to create their own business and become a practitioner. So that's the basic introduction.
Great, thank you so much. I appreciate that. We definitely are you open to doing a short demo for a volunteer here?
I think demo is the best way to really experience. Now, as we do the demo, you should be aware that anybody on here can download the Genius for 14 days with no credit card. You don't have to feel like, oh my gosh, the days are counting down. I hope I don't get charged. It's completely without a credit card. So you can try it. To try it, you would try it on your smartphone, like an iPhone. You could try it on an iPad. You could try it on any Android tablet. The thing it doesn't really work on is PCs, or the Microsoft has some type of, we can't utilize it on that. It's just gonna be Android or Apple. But if you have an Apple computer that has an M1 chip or later, you could actually utilize it on that. So that's what it works on. And I hope everybody here does take a moment to download it. We're gonna give the link out. And when you download it, like I said, you can start learning. We give you tutorials to learn about the Genius, and that's really been my thing, is to give as much education as possible. If you go to my YouTube channel, you can watch all the videos. For years, I've been doing free classes for people to learn about the Genius, or even after you get your Genius, to help and support you to learn it to the extent that you want to.
That's been my number one way of learning, is through your YouTube channel. I love it, absolutely love it. It's been a very, very great tool, for sure. And yeah, do we still want to do the name and email for you? Should we do that in the chat for those that want the 14-day demo, or do you just want to go by the link? Or
That's completely, you can decide what you want to do. I can throw the 14-day download link into the chat now, or people can request it if you'd like them to request it personally from you.
okay, sure. Go ahead and if you would like the 14-day trial, go ahead and enter your name into the chat along with your email, and we'll make sure that that gets to Ariel. And of course, she's going to be able to see it right now, but we'll, I'll take make sure that we get all that copied. Now, I like to do a follow-up with people too. I like
Absolutely, I
to tune
understand.
in with anybody that I've had any kind of influence with, and see how they're doing. And if they have any questions too, of course, I always refer them to you first, but then, I try to help as much as I can. But,
Absolutely, yeah. It's even if you just want to do it just to learn more about vibration and more about quantum biofeedback, like, we're open, whatever come and sample it and see if you like it.
great. So yeah, do we have a volunteer who would like to volunteer for the demo? and I can't really see anybody. Then Liz or
Yeah.
Ariel, who do you see that can?
I've got restorative education over here seems to be raising her hand. She seems to be
Oh,
excited.
great.
Okay, who is that? I can't because I can't see.
Yeah.
Is that Keisha Beth?
Yay!
It's you. It's
Thank you,
Keisha.
Beth.
It's Keisha Beth. Yay. Okay. Sweet. Good. Okay.
And
So
Keisha,
we're
I'll
gonna.
just need, if you want to put your date of birth into the chat, I'll just need that to get everything set up for you.
Well, oh yeah, she has her name and address, Kelly, but I'll get you this stuff later.
Okay. Thank you.
I was in there quick.
Now, in order to do this, I will need to share my screen to show because I'm going to put the genius up on the screen here. Will
Yep.
we possibly be able to do that?
Yes, if you click share screen, I find I don't even have to give permission, or
Oh,
I
wow,
can
that's cool. Okay, let me just, that's really a great setting then. Let
I
me
know,
just get the date
seems
of
great.
birth in there. Yeah, that's
I've
very
been doing it that way.
convenient. Okay, absolutely. Going to continue with a new analysis here. Let's go ahead and get this cleaned up and advanced. Oh, you even have the advanced option, which is what I need. Phew. All right.
Subscription
So-
pays for it, baby.
Yeah, it's worth it. I'm so glad you have that. So now I'm going to go ahead and bring the Genius up. So I have it on an iPad Pro, like I said, any Apple device that you prefer. And I use a little piece of software that cost me about $15 just one time. And it's called a reflector, and it allows me to broadcast this. So you could broadcast it onto a whatever huge monitor, even like a TV screen. If you did a presentation or you wanted to do a group healing, that is kind of fun if you do something in person. So we have this here. The main vehicle for basically knowing about the person's energy field is their voice. It's about 86% of the algorithm. And then we're also going to take the picture, which might be a little tricky. Let me see if I can control the view from here. Oh yeah, but except it's going to just show Liz. All right, well, I'll figure that out afterwards about the picture. So our subject for today, will you introduce yourself?
Yes, hello, I'm Keisha Beth Salmon.
All right, so what I'm going to do, Keisha, right?
Keisha.
What I'm going to do is, so have you used any quantum biofeedback or anything similar in the past?
No, no.
Okay, fun time. Where are you joining us from today?
England,
Okay, and which part?
Northampton.
Beautiful. And it's what's about 11 there?
10.
Okay, it's about 10. Just I love that we have a lot of people from the UK that have the Genius, and it's always fun. We always end up doing Zooms with them, and they are very much like, yeah, it's 10, it's 11 here. They're used to somehow the time difference, and so I'm glad that you're joining us. So I'll go ahead and record the voice, and you're going to see all the little formats of the voice being assessed in just a moment. So what we're going to have you do is say your name. So my name is Ariel Policano, I would say that. And then we get different intonations and sound information through the vowels, because they kind of use your voice in these different ways that is very good for this assessment. So we'd say A-E-I-O-U, A-E-I-O-U, A-E-I-O-U. You just keep repeating it, and we'll get a voice sample of 15 seconds, and I'll let you know when we've got the voice complete. Does that sound okay?
That sounds fine.
Okay, so my name is, and you say your name, and then just keep saying the vowels.
Mhm.
I will start recording in 3, 2, 1. I'm recording.
My name is Keisha Beth Salmon. A-E-I-O-U, 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 A-E-I-O-U.
Perfect, perfect. And you can't do it wrong, like you'll always get it right. And even if you say different words, it will still do the assessment. They just work on the vowels because they get so many different checks on the voice. So now this is where a lot of the really proprietary information is. This is something I know that the developers worked on a lot, and he has it sample the voice and then sample it again and sample it again, sample it again, and it's taking in all these different parameters based on the voice that is going to become like your frequency. So your kind of assessed frequency is what we compare all the other frequencies of the genius too. And then we say, how does your voice compare to the energy frequency for magnesium? And if there's a great match there, it'll give us a low score or a high score, which we call the reds and the blues. We're going to look at that in a moment. And it'll really tell us about your relationship to magnesium, i.e., are you needing some magnesium? And we do our treatment through frequency. So our treatment isn't necessarily give magnesium. Our treatment is to give the frequency that is needed. Could it inform somebody that they might want to look into the possibility that they're low in magnesium? A lot of people use the genius in that way, and that's a really cool way to get a check-in all about where you are at this moment. And I think that the issue with, let me see if I can do a little tricky thing here, which is to take a screenshot. Okay, give a quick smile. All right, put a great smile. And so what I'm going to do is, that way I don't have to use the Zoom camera on its own, so I can kind of isolate the picture. Then give me 1 minute. Then I have the screenshot here that I'm going to take a picture of in just a moment. This is such a great picture. And then we'll be able to do our assessment. This is hilarious here. Okay. All right, so just go here, 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 here. There's that great picture. I love that it has a little heart on it. And now it's going to analyze the picture, and it's very forgiving. So you don't need the perfect picture. This is a picture of a picture. It still has a lot of energetic information in it. Everything is energy, everything is frequency. And so we're assessing that energy in our scan. So now we'll begin the analysis, and it's going to now have a frequency for the voice and a frequency for the picture, and it's going to combine them collectively. And then what we're going to do is, it has the wrong animation. Let me just scoop this over here for a second. Now, while I just take care of that for a moment here, let me ask, is there anything in particular that you're working on? Is it empowerment? Is it wellness? Is there any condition, ache, anything that you are working on at this time?
Yes, I'm quite crippled with arthritis, quite
Okay.
horribly crippled. And I'm also working on something that keeps evading me. It's evaded me for 55 years, something called kind of like routine.
Tell me, I didn't understand that completely. Tell me a little bit about that.
Routine, kind of
Oh,
having
routine evades you.
ordered
Okay.
routine, and an artistic kind of nature just doesn't
Oh, I
work.
understand that. Do you ever go to make a list, and then you spend the whole day like trying to get to making the list? Yeah, I totally understand that. Okay, and arthritis, is it rheumatoid or osteo? Or if you don't know, I can ask more questions.
I'm not sure. Mm.
Absolutely. Okay, completely understand that. So this went through the voice and the picture. I had to adjust something because it had the wrong animation. I get the right animation on there. Looks good now. And so we just do a quick scan, and this is what we get. A scan is an analysis of the voice and the picture. So yeah, with arthritis, is it something that has been your whole life? And do you have hot like joints in your hands, or is it more like in your knees or your hips?
It's in my hips in particular, and in my knees, and also I've got kind of things going here. I've got things going
Okay.
on here. So yeah, it's quite
Okay, it sounds
debilitating.
osteo. It sounds like osteoarthritis. Okay, gotcha. Totally understand. We're going to look at that in just a moment. So when we first scan the person, so if you come in here, you could record your own voice, your own picture. It's really meant for the layperson. Like anybody can use this. Now, people who are healers or have knowledge about the body will use it at a higher level, but everybody can use this. Nobody needs to be a doctor because anybody can identify red and blue items. So when I come in here, the first thing I like to do is look at the aura, because we can check the aura at the beginning. So this is like getting an aura scan. And then we can check it at the end, and we will be able to see what is called the progressed aura. We're going to see where the aura moves from and then to. And that's really kind of fun to see the difference that the frequencies made within the aura. And I'm going to turn some of the sound down because I know that the sound competes with what I'm doing here. So now we see very nice aura. It's got some wonderful purple color in here. So we're really working in that 6th chakra, having a lot of our intuition open, working with the pineal gland. And then we're having around here, we're having a beautiful lime green energy, which is how we're expanding our heart, which looks good. We have a little bit of sort of a dark green to gray color here, and that could be a representation of the physical pain. Do you, on a daily basis, do you experience pain? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So that, could be what we're seeing. I like to look at our aura with the context of the avatar, which is meant to be the person facing us. And so this is their right side, this is their left side. But you can also remove this, representation here. We have a button here, we remove it. And so then we even see a little bit more of the aura underneath. And we have this beautiful blue. There's a lot of pastel colors, like it's a very soft energy. It's a very yin energy. And that's sort of how she comes through, just, seeing her on camera, very sort of that gentle and flowing. And so that's very interesting to see. This ring here is one we want to watch and see how the color transforms. So I'm going to, and I want to remember to do this the right way, otherwise I could lose some information. So I'm going to try to do it like this. I'm going to screenshot it here, and then we're going to show it here, and I'm going to screenshot it again. So this is our beginning aura, and now we get to work. Now we go ahead and we see, what do we see in our scan? So when we first see our scan, we see some red and blue items. Red items and blue items are similar in that they represent imbalances. So anything that's green and yellow is considered to be in balance or in the range. And then these red and blue items call out to us either as remedies that could be helpful, nutrition that could be helpful, or they're signs of imbalances. So one that I really like to look at a lot is called today's stress. So I'm going to tap on the line just with my finger or with a mouse or whatever it might be. I'm going to tap on it here, just it's right on my iPad Pro right here. And it says that there are a number of different items that are out of balance. Now, they could be out of balance, like cardiovascular could be balanced if you're nervous. You could be out of balance if you're nervous, or you were running to class, or maybe at a workout today. Nothing is strictly pathological or concerning. These are just energies that would be beneficial for us to run today, and we may be able to draw some conclusions from them. So we see cardiovascular, brain, acidity, something in the environment, maybe a nice chemtrail or something like that. An infection could be subclinical. We all have little viruses here and there. Working on hormones. These are things that are the important things to the body right now that your body is working on balancing. And we can help it by running these frequencies. Now, even if we don't understand everything, when you look at this yourself, when you have your genius and you look at this on a daily basis, you start to get hints, you start to get information, and you're like, yeah, you know what? I knew that my diet was a little bit too, I was getting a little bit, maybe too many meat or too much of the junk food or something. That's why my body's probably acidic. I should probably change that. And so you instantly get this feedback that you yourself could take action on. And that's what I mean about the empowerment. Like, that's why it's so powerful. This is just information for you that once you own it, and we don't charge any type of ongoing monthly fee, once you own it, that every single day of your life, if you wanted to, you could check in and learn about this. And that's what I think is so incredible and important about it. Now it tells us, remember, it's reds and blues. So we see some blues that are out of balance. Connective tissue, that would kind of make sense for her going along with the structural issues that she's having. Like connective tissue could be affected if the joint space is narrowing, causing the osteoarthritis. It says a low-level virus, maybe just something in the background, or it could be like Epstein-Barr. Some emotional, working through some emotional things. Inflammation, now the inflammation could easily be that pain that she experiences. So that could be the inflammation. And then adrenal, being, with this adrenal score at 169, that's a low score. It's out of balance, but also it's kind of depleted. So there could be an adrenal depletion or adrenal fatigue. Now, what's really cool is that anytime you find a problem, you can also enable a solution. And a solution is just playing the frequencies that are out of balance. So we could take this adrenal issue and put it into our quick zap, which is usually just for a few items. And I could hit that play button, which is being shown here, and it's going to give you the exact frequency that you now need in order to solve that problem. So I love things that have solutions. I love, as a naturopath, we're born to identify problems, but it's really cool to have something instantaneously that you can do to evoke a solution. That's just really, really fun. Oh, I hope we didn't lose Keisha at all. Maybe she'll log, but oh, she's still here. Okay, good. We're just, we're going rotating in the gallery. Okay, I got it. All right, so yeah, so you can run this and then you instantly have the solution for the issue. And like I said, anybody could do this. So all of you on here have the ability to do this. You can learn this and you can download the trial. When you download the trial or the 14 days for free, we send you little videos every day to learn more about how to work with the genius. So I'm going to close this tray and I want to do some more exploring. So now I'm going to go to, we have all of these what are called custom libraries, which are area specific frequencies so that you could use the genius for different problems that you're trying to solve. For example, we have some osteoarthritis frequencies. So I'm going to look at the osteoarthritis frequencies and see if it helps me to better understand what might be going on. And then we have a few called the root cause. I'm going to look at the root cause frequencies as well to see if we can learn more. So if we look at osteoarthritis assessment right here, and it says there might be some bone spurs, there might be some ligaments affected, the joint capsule is affected, we have periarticular fibrosis, so we've built up some fibrotic changes from maybe the bone, you know, grinding against the bone, or maybe the inflammation. It says some of it is from a sulfur deficiency. And that is when you think about chondroitin sulfate, glucosamine sulfate, or MSM, they all have the sulfur aspect. So that gives us a hint about how to solve the issue. We can also put all of these frequencies, when I do this little thing here, I'm putting all the red items instantaneously into the tray. And now I go down to the blue items, and it's telling me that there might be some calcified cartilage, there's a structural abnormality, there might have been chronic dehydration, there's some toxins in the joints, so there are some toxins that have gotten into the joints, there's loss of cartilage, that's sort of borderline. So I'm going to take all of these things that are causing the issue, and I'm going to put them in the tray to be balanced. So this gives us more of a picture of what's going on. I can also go to osteoarthritis solutions. And it says some solutions could be bone broth or coenzyme Q10, capsaicin for the pain, clary sage oil. And so we can put, again, we can run the energies of all of these solutions in our session. And then we have magnesium oil, which is really wonderful. It's basically magnesium chloride in like a liquid form that you can do magnesium chloride. Have you ever done magnesium chloride soaks? Oh, those are really powerful. That's what Mark Sircus, if you've ever heard of him, Sircus, he talks about those. That's really cool. And then eucalyptus oil and hydrotherapy, hot and cold therapy, in order to move the blood, in order to resolve any type of qi stagnation. So then we can actually go tunnel out and just look at what's called the root cause. And in the root cause, it might have other things unrelated to osteoarthritis, but it might give us more hints. Not everything is going to be spot on, but what we look at is sort of all these reds are telling us what might be going on in her energy field or her body that could be related to the root cause of the issue. So probably dust is not contributing to osteoarthritis, but there might be dust. For some reason, it could be environmental, whatever. So something about dust exposure, acid reflux, blood sugar imbalance. So that's interesting. That comes up a couple of times. autoimmunity, telomere shortening, that's sort of how we age, zinc deficiency, so that might be something to think about. There's a lot of different things to think about. Do you have any hypoglycemia or ever have any blood sugar issues?
No, no.
Not known. Okay, gotcha.
Hypothyroid, if that's,
The thyroid issue? Okay.
yeah.
So it says here the thyroid function is low due to poor conversion of T4 to T3. And that can happen if we have any liver stress or we have any gut stress or infections.
Ah.
So, but it does come up a lot with blood sugar. Okay, so there's just none that are known, but we see it here and then we see it twice at the top. So I just call that like kind of interesting information. Let's go ahead now, and I like to bring in the positive. So let's bring in some affirmations, which can help you with words to work on the issue in a really positive way. So I have a library for that. So the first one that comes up for you is, I am ready for the most exhilarating and positive chapter in my life and collect the courage to make it so. Does that sound
Can I say
okay?
it? Do you want me to say it?
Yes, please do.
I am ready for the most exhilarating and positive chapter in my life. Woohoo! And hang on, and collect the courage to make it so.
Very nice. Wow, that's awesome. That's such a match for you too. It's so
It feels
obvious.
it. It feels completely. Yeah.
So can you read the second one?
It's rather tiny. I'm struggling to see.
Okay, all the lights are green. It is a go for my success and I'm ready to accept it.
All right. All the lights are green. It's a go for my success and I'm 100% ready to accept it.
Very good. Let's see if there's one down, because we always look at the reds and the blues. So let's see if there's one down here that's how about this one? And let me see if it resonates with you. I am now healed of illness that now falls away with spontaneous remission. Spontaneous remission happens right now. My cells are filled and flooded with light. I apologize. There's a little bit of a grammatical issue in here, but it's basically that I am healed of illness. It falls away in spontaneous remission, and my cells are filled and flooded with light.
I am now healed of illness that falls away. Spontaneous remission happens right now. My cells are filled and flooded with light.
Wow, that's so powerful. I think we all received some positive energy from what you just said. Yeah, your voice is so powerful. So
She's a singer.
What did you say? What did you say, Kelly?
Oh, she's a singer and songwriter. So yeah, we love her voice.
It makes so much sense. That really makes sense that would come through.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
all right. So now what we're going, and I want to get to, if anybody has any questions, I'll look at your questions. If you want to put some questions into the chat. So now what I'm going to do, so now we have all of the different frequencies that are unique and personalized for Keisha. And we're going to do another test here, or another scan. We're going to go into, I'm going to use this little button at the bottom right to go into a new analysis. And it takes all of the different things that we just discovered, and then it's going to test again to see which among them is considered to be the most important. So now let's go ahead and see what sort of, I always say, like, what percolates to the top of prioritization. So to work on the joint capsule itself, to work on the gallbladder, some type of chemical exposure is part of the root cause. To do hydrotherapy, like hot and cold, nice hot soak in the hot tub, but followed by a cold plunge, or hot shower with a cold rinse at the end. Again, working on the thyroid. And Epstein-Barr does come up. That's interesting because we saw virus as being part of the root cause. So then we take these high priority items and we run the highest order of prioritization, and then we play these frequencies for a minute I'll play them for a minute now, but you can, we say, use the Genius for 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes at night, and you will really start to feel really powerful and profound change. Kelly, is there anything you want to add to sort of what we've been doing?
I would just say, or all day. I've been known to run them 30 minutes at a time, and the lower, I'll scan through just about everything that I want to put in the lower tray, and then I will do that over and over and over some days, because the things were so thick and dreary, I guess, for me in the beginning when I first started using it. And still there are certain days here dealing with my dad's illness and such that I'll run the 3-4 hours sometimes. Some people might think it's too much, but I've been playing with sound since the 90s and I can't get enough. So it just depends on what you want to, and have. There we go. Somebody was trying to get in again. Yeah, anyway, I use it often.
Yeah, so you can use it, once you have it, it's yours. You can use it for as long as you want to. You can listen through headphones. Some people like wired headphones. Some people like
I have the
Bluetooth
bone
headphones.
conductors on. Sorry. I have
And
the
that's
bone
really-
conducting headphones on right now, and I love the bone conducting headphones because if I'm out in the public, I used to get a lot of extreme anxiety being out, especially during the pandemic thing, or the scamdemic, I guess. And I would use the Genius to just get me through going to, a store or the hospital. I had to go to the hospital and doctor's office a lot with my dad, and that was always, something I could not stand, but it got me through.
Well, the bone conduction allows the actual articulation of the tones, like with your physical body, which is really fun. And then you also can do other things. You can multitask. You could be talking to a doctor and listening to the tones at the same time. So that's really cool. Well, after 1 minute, we got a 22% rectification. Technically, we like to see 40% or more on the rectification. And it means how much did the frequencies reach the person? How much were they affected by the frequencies? But I'm going to assume that, just for the time's sake, say this did go to 40%, or I'm going to just make it as if it did. And I just want to do a rescan, and a rescan allows new information to percolate to the top here so we can see what the new prioritization would be. And as such, we can kind of learn about patterns, about things that keep coming up. This is an appetite regulator, the brain, toxicity in joints, zinc deficiency, the sclerotic bone, dehydration, lymphatic stagnation. That's interesting because the hydrotherapy came up, like there might be just some stagnation going on there. Blood sugar, that's really weird. Hydrotherapy comes up again. So really interesting, just all these different things. The magnesium oil ranks very, very high. And then all these other pieces that we didn't keep it strictly to the osteoarthritis, but when we run these frequencies, it will affect her whole system. And so, in that, we're treating the whole system. You can expect some of these frequencies to contribute to improvement, even in the osteoarthritis, because even if you reduce inflammation in the body, then you're going to have less pain on a daily basis. Now, are there other questions?
Yeah, Dr. Ariel, I'm looking at the chat. This is Liz. I want to say,
Yes.
Taser Ray mentioned, he says, maybe it's a question, comment, the frequencies of all these conditions can be constantly changing, as far as I know, depending on our current environmental conditions. Just my 2 cents. There's some other questions after, but can you address the changing frequencies?
Well, we're approximating the frequencies as best we can with information that we know. I have seen this have a very positive effect, but we're not reassessing every frequency and changing every frequency over time. But that being said, the developer takes the letters and the phrases and words and interprets them as frequency in a process he's called archetype encoding. And he's giving a representation to words and numbers and phrases that I found to be incredibly effective. And he assigns a spectrum of frequencies, including harmonics, to each of the items that you see here. And something about that creates a very rich experience of the feedback. There's something very gentle, but also very effective about these frequencies.
Great. So Dr. Ariel, we also have Rick Hall and Tanis have mentioned, how about drinking more water for extra frequency listening, and charge water too, eh?
Oh yeah,
Yes, we
I
have some.
charge my water with the Genius all the time.
Yeah, like Kelly's saying, we have a special remedy plate or an imprinter plate. And don't have it in front of me at the moment. Next time, remember to bring it to class. And so that remedy plate is a little plate with some copper tracings in it, and it connects to your Genius, and it allows you to send frequencies to whatever you put on that plate. And then you can charge up water. You could charge up gemstones. You could imprint jewelry, anything that you want. We have some people who have made a whole, business of just things that they imprint and then sell online, sell on Etsy, because you can imprint anything. And you can even use it as a broadcaster for certain, parts of the body, or meridians, or acupuncture points. Once you learn about the Genius, there are so many things that are possible to do with it. It's just you could do home clearing, you could do global planetary healing, you could do group healing. There's this particular type of technology, the developer didn't control it so much. Like, he allows you to create your own libraries, which means you could create a whole series of affirmations and test which affirmation resonates the highest for you. Or if you don't know what's causing this for me, you could write down all the different ideas you have about what is causing the situation for me, and then you could test it on your Genius, and you could see the reds and the blues. That means the things that are sticking the most, and you could learn more about what is the origin of this particular thing.
Akeisha Beth herself is asking, is this based on the work of Sherry Edwards? I know her work with frequencies.
It's not based on her work. We do understand her work. It's not directly based on that, but I would say that it accomplishes a very similar effect of being able to work with sound and getting a great benefit from specific frequencies, and also just listening to the voice in a specific way. That I think, Sherry was, she's been on to that, recognizing the power in the voice, that the voice holds an incredible amount of energetic information. The body is so holographic, every different piece tells the story about the whole person, so the voice, the acupuncture points in the ear, on the foot, in the hands. We're interesting that all the parts are sort of contained within these smaller parts, and I believe that the voice is one where we can kind of unravel those mysteries.
If I can add to that really quick, I
Yeah.
think if anything, it would be based on the work of Daniel Kunkel, who had the BioWaves technology back in the 90s, because that's what I was trained in back in the days of Windows 98, and having to do everything through spectral analysis, point click on all the vocal frequencies that we were doing. But we could only, I think, upload like 6 frequencies at a time in this chunky little box, and then only listen to one frequency at a time through titanium headphones. So there was a lot of limitations. But Daniel Kunkel started getting the frequency libraries together for the vocal technology back then. So if anything, I would think that, and people can still, and I know you've looked into it, Ariel, that biowaves.com is still up and running for people that might want to get some information on that. And that's how I found Genius, because I wanted to see if they had been doing anything lately. And the Genius came up, and I was like, oh, that's great, because BioWaves is again, it's an old tech. It's not going anywhere. It hasn't gone anywhere for quite some time. But that's how I found the Genius. And one more thing, Taser had mentioned something about the frequencies changing often. And I often, I put the frequencies that I want to use all day in the lower tray. And then I just do a rescan, and then do high priority for each rescan. And I find that it's in touch with me in the moment with what I need. Do you have anything to say about
No,
that?
that's really cool. No, I love the way that you're using it. Yeah, no, that's why you're getting such good effects from it. That's really cool.
Yeah, Ariel, I have also Taser Ray came back on saying, saying, do you start with a baseline of removing parasites? He says in his work, he finds it to be the case.
You can certainly do that if you want. You actually can create your own sort of paradigm. We did do a series recently where I went through what I thought would be the natural course of sort of layering where first you clear the digestion, then you clear the immune system, then you clear the hormonal system. So we've worked on that, but we have particular libraries for parasites, and some people have done parasite cleanse while they're doing the frequencies, and they actually, even just running the frequencies, they feel certain shifts where they feel that the parasites are being affected and disengaged. We have a really good one on that, which
I'm one
is,
of those people. I had two huge liver flukes that were both about half of the size of my liver that came out doing a parasite cleanse and I was using the Genius with it too. I was stunned. I thought it was actually my liver for a minute. I thought, oh my God, this is horrid. They are huge.
when you see something like this, it doesn't mean that Keisha has all these parasites. They're just resonating, and maybe there's one, maybe there's something that has a similar frequency. But the point is that you can use these for clearing. There's also the herbs and remedies. So it would tell you like wormwood. Wormwood could be potentially a great remedy because it, works on digestion. It also works on parasites. And so, yeah, you could definitely do that if you wanted to. You could just start with parasites and then, go through different systems as you see it's important that you kind of build. And so maybe first you clear the parasites, then you clear the tray, you go back and you work on the next thing.
We also have a question. Tanis, you want to come off mute and raise your hand? Thank you for your patience.
Oh, no worries. It was great conversation. I love hearing and talking about frequency because, like you said at the beginning, everything is frequency, everything's energy. So my question actually is really not for Ariel, it's kind of for Kelly, because I'm very curious, Kelly, how you, like in the restoration vibration chat, how you would go in and you would just do a genius thing for overall for everyone. And I don't, even after listening to all this today, I have no idea how you can do that. Like, because you don't have any imprints or nothing. Like, could you briefly explain that?
Sure. And I don't know that Ariel is aware that I've been doing this for a while, but what I do is I've been working with group energy for a very long time. That's been one of the gifts that I've had, spiritual gifts that I've had most of my life. And so what I do is I act as a surrogate, and I'll get into, theta state and then ask source to bring forth any and all of the frequencies that are necessary or that can benefit, and this is basic, the general and basic scan. And I will put, and this is Kelly, and I'm doing a scan for the restoration vibration chat. Please allow any and all frequencies that will benefit each and every person who listens. AEIOU, AEIOU. And so I'm actually acting as a surrogate by, quantumly tapping into the group energy, and then I bring it forth that way. And what I do is then for the photo, I just put the the group logo or whatever, and then I'll run the scan that way. And then I just get an intuitive hit on what seems to be, of course, I'll go with the red and the blues, but there's times when I'll do a deeper insight scan too, because I see that there's some imbalances with certain energies and such, and so I'll add them to the tray. Takes so much time to upload something like that, so that's why I kind of keep them to about 6 minutes, and then people can listen then thereafter. But I've gotten a lot of great feedback from doing things like that, and I think I would love to hear what Dr. Ariel has to say about acting as a surrogate for this, because there is something called the Quanta capsule, where somebody can actually, if you're a practitioner, you can utilize you can have somebody send you their frequencies, their voice and their photograph. That way, there's many different ways to utilize this. That's what I love about the Genius. It's so flexible in that way. But yeah, so that's how I do it. And then to upload it, I just I'll do screen video recording as it's playing, and that's how I upload it to the group. So
that's really smart. Yeah, that's a great idea to do that, and then anybody can listen at any time. So just to look at the aura for a second, we can see the progressed aura. We started out with that
Oh,
sort of
yeah.
heavy grayness. And look how we, even if you didn't know how to, or you don't know how to interpret auras, like you can get a feeling. It tells the picture.
Hmm.
There's so much less gray, or the grayish black is gone. There's a light green. There's a lot of heart healing energy coming in. There's a nice, beautiful, sort of more vibrant purple energy. And we'll look without the avatar in just a moment. And there's a beautiful sort of I guess sort of a deep red energy, which is sort of first chakra energy working on the physical body. But you just see what a difference between one and the other. And Keisha, it'll be good for you to drink more water today, or make sure you sip water as you're getting ready to wind down, and then in the morning as well. She's so compliant. I love it. So, and then we can kind of look here. We can look at the one that was before without that avatar, and then we can hide it here if it'll cooperate. And we still kind of see that tremendous difference. Just if you just said, what is your gut feeling? Well, my goodness, some energy has shifted, and it's shifted for the positive. It's more clear, it's more crisp, it's more bright. And we really only did about 4 minutes of balancing, because this can work very, very rapidly. And the developer created the frequencies to be gentle but powerful, to work in a short amount of time, so that it had a minimal amount. Now, Kelly likes to run them throughout the day, and that's okay. It kind of keeps the vibration going. But you can actually do short sessions and still get a lot of benefit, which you can see from this picture. We have something called the Quanta Capsule, which is a different app, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get across exactly what it is by showing this to you. But usually when people come to see somebody who runs biofeedback, they get a session, and then the session's over, and maybe they'll come back again for some reason this isn't loading, they'll come back again in a few weeks or whatever it might be. And that little app there allows us to send these frequencies that we found for Keisha. I could send them directly to her phone. So if she has the app acts like a receiver for these frequencies, only the ones I've chosen for her. And then she could then run them for 7 days until the frequencies expire. And then she would come back for another session to receive new frequencies. Now, this isn't necessary in order to receive the frequencies. She received them right away through subspace, through long distance healing. This runs in that scalar manner that she can receive the frequencies we're running for her. And she also heard the sounds, so it works at a distance. But this would allow her to lay down the frequencies over and over and over and over again in order to, really get like a benefit from the momentum of repeatedly running the frequencies.
Dr. Ariel?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's Liz. Joanne's asking, can you add your own frequencies, and are the frequencies analog or digital?
Yes, the frequencies, as I understand them, are analog. So that you can actually put in frequencies from 0 to 1,000 hertz that will actually run as those frequencies. Now let's go ahead and look at one of the features within the Genius, which is our library feature. And in our library feature, we will bring up the libraries that have been created. So there's, I wonder if this is just running really slow. I might not be able to bring them up. But in this feature here, you would see all my libraries. There they are. So we have a certain amount of libraries, over 1,300 libraries in all these different areas here. And anybody could do what I've done. And you just hit this little plus sign, and you just go ahead and now you have maybe some supplements sitting on your kitchen counter. And you just type in my supplements. And you could add your supplements through a remedy plate. You could actually, maybe you have a list of frequencies that you want to enter that are rife frequencies. So you could put in my frequencies. I'll just show this really fast. So you could put in the actual frequency. This will cooperate like this. And when you save it and you add the item, you could put in the exact, I just want to show this because the exact frequency. So when I do this, and I'll just put in solfeggio frequency, I'll just put an SF to make it faster. But in this little tray here, I could put in the solfeggio frequency of 528. So 528. And then I can just save that frequency. And then when I play this, it will run the 528 hertz frequency. So you could, there's a whole host of things that you could do in creating your own library.
Mm-hmm. Can I add to that with the frequencies, so that a lot of people ask about Rife, and I do know that there is a Rife library for the Genius, but when you are getting your frequencies fed back to you for the balance and counterbalance and such, you're getting a combination of Rife frequency, solfeggio, Nogier. There's just a whole host of frequencies that come up. What I learned in BioWaves is that, you know, you're oftentimes for counterbalancing and such, you're just looking for a detox frequency for whatever ails you in many cases. And that could often be Rife frequencies. I recognize certain Rife frequencies when they're being fed back to me within the, you know, treatment.
Yeah, we have a number of libraries that have just entered, where we've entered actual Rife frequencies, which like I said, anybody could do if you had like the CAFL. We just entered specific frequencies, like for back pain, we put in all the numerical frequencies. So like 13 hertz, 91 hertz, and 141 hertz are frequencies that we did research and discovered they're helpful for connective tissue. So we put them in there so it'll run all three of those frequencies in like a loop as we play that frequency.
And they are a combination of square, sine, and sawtooth waves too. Just for you geeks that are like myself that wanna know.
Yeah, and
But
you have the ability to actually control which type of wave formation you
mhm.
want to do. Is trying to go to that to show that. But yeah, you
Right,
can
because yeah, you can select that
yeah, you can
yeah.
collect it. Yeah, you can select what
So,
you want in our frequency, shape, and form. You
mm-hmm,
can select, different binaural beats, and the waveforms are down here. Right now, I actually had
mm-hmm.
it on sine wave. That's great when you want to work on something physical. Square is when you want to work like in a Rife fashion. Sawtooth is great for breaking up adhesions or emotional stuckness, or you could just choose alternating and get the benefit of all of them.
Yeah.
Ariel, there's another question in the chat. Who created the Genius Biofeedback? I think you mentioned that. Can you remind us?
Yeah, it was created by a gentleman in Santa Barbara, Ryan Williams, and he worked with the creator, the developer of the Skio. He worked with the Skio system, he worked with the Life system, and I've worked in partnership with Ryan, just giving medical information, developing the medical libraries since 2013. And he just is the person who decided to just go out there and where he came from was there are things out there like the Skio, the Cyberscan, the Zyto, the Asira, and historically they come with big boxes that you have to constantly update or might have to replace. It usually runs on a actual big screen computer. And he thought, wouldn't this be more available to people if we could put it into an application like an Apple application or an Android app? And so he was able to get it at you can get it at a fraction of the price, because those other technologies were like $15,000, sometimes 30,000. Our basic package is $997, but you don't get very much with it. And then we have packages that go all the way up to thousands of dollars, just depending on how many frequency sets that you want, or maybe you just want to start with the bare bones basics. It's completely up to you.
So you buy these frequency patterns, you kind of add the packets to your system. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what it comes with is just phenomenal. The
What's that?
basic, I said the basic package is phenomenal to learn from, you know, for those of you that are looking to invest but can't do so much. And
Yeah, the other packages, they move up in complexity of, what problems do you want to solve? What level of training do you want? Do you want some business training? Do you want some practitioner training? Things like that. So we really do hope that everybody will will basically submit your name and your email to Kelly, and we'll instantly set you up with a 14-day access. and we'll follow up with you. We'll also ask you if you'd like a personal demonstration with us. Then we'll actually meet with you and give you your own personal scan demonstration. And we'll give you videos that help you to learn the Genius along with the 14 days. So you can just see like, oh, this is how it works. This is how I use it. We're really into education because it's so important that you understand what this is and that you really get to use it in all the wonderful ways that it can be beneficial.
And I believe everybody here is on Telegram. So I'm at Restored Vibes, RESTORED Vibes, VIBES. Yeah, and that's on Telegram. And do you want to share your address, Ariel, on Telegram?
The best way to on
Or,
Telegram.
yeah,
I think we're
what's the
Genius
best way to
Biofeedback.
get a hold of you?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, on Telegram, I think we're under Genius Biofeedback on Telegram, but I have to
Okay.
check. You go to geniusbiofeedback.com.
.com.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a great way.
geniusbiofeedback.com, and you can see all about what we're doing. That's probably going to be the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, she's got everything there.
Yeah, you can see that we have a Start Here menu. So if you go there, click on the Start Here menu, so you can have the download, you can have the tutorials, you can see all the ebooks and different resources that we've created for that purpose.
And that YouTube video, the YouTube video that's linked on there, then what I would do is just subscribe to her channel too, if you're interested. She's got an amazing library on YouTube.
Yeah, that's under my name. That's under Ariel Policano, which you can see probably Ariel Policano in the chat there. You can see my name. And so
Yeah.
you can join me on YouTube and watch some of the videos. Yeah, there'll be like a whole college education of videos that are free on my YouTube channel.
I watched your one about the reading of all the auras. I'm very interested in auras and chakras. So I really I like that area. It was very, very informative. One that took about an hour. I liked it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's really fun. I mean, this could be a whole program in and of itself. The aura, a lot of the programs in the Genius are almost like standalone, but they're all in this one system, which is really fun. They actually have the meridians in here, and we have acupuncturists that have used this, and they use it in their practice. And I just want to show you, like, if you look at the heart meridian, you could work on all the points of the heart meridian that are out of balance. So these are all the heart points that are out of balance. There actually aren't a lot of them. See if we can get the liver meridian here.
I honestly use that daily.
You do? And what's really
I
fun
use
is that,
meridians daily.
but what's really fun is that it actually shows you the specific points. So if
Right.
you look for
You can-
on here, you can enlarge these animations, and you can find the point that's out of balance, and you could actually do some acupressure on it. So
Right. And if you click on the left there too, click on the information,
and I'll tell you a little thing. I don't find these to be as helpful because a lot of times it's just the real acute functionality, but at the same time it does give you information. Those little
Oh yeah, I
tricks
just
took
like
a
to
long time
learn.
for Dad.
I'm a geek. Right.
Yeah, it's like almost like the most like emergency symptoms of the point, but you could also just take that point and put liver 13 into Google, and he can become like a Chinese medicine student and learn all about this. But we have had
That's what I like.
acupuncturists who told us that this is their tongue and pulse diagnosis matches a lot with what comes up in red and blue on the Genius. Well, I think that's probably, a
That's
lot
been
of information
thorough.
today. Yeah.
Yeah, this has been a great class. I absolutely love it. I appreciate your time.
And Keisha, thank you so much for volunteering today. I'll be excited to know over the next couple of days, get back in touch and let me know if you felt any, effect from the frequencies.
I will do. Thank you. This has been so interesting.
Yeah, I'm glad you were able to make it.
Yeah, Keisha, did anything in particular resonate or come up, or did you notice anything? How did the frequencies land with you while we were running them for you?
I didn't hear any.
Okay, gotcha. But you saw them running.
I saw them running, but I didn't hear any, but I saw them.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's not coming through my speaker or on the computer or something.
That's something I have to remember. I had to turn it down because it was interfering with my lecture, but you still are receiving the frequencies like in the case of Reiki. You're still receiving them. And even the visual, let's actually get a little bit of sound. Even the visual that you're seeing there, the visual expression of the algorithm, that you're even receiving the frequencies just through sight, through seeing them visually.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and if you've got room on your phone, Keisha, we can get you the 14-day trial going so that you can play with it yourself.
Yes, I have an iPhone, so that would be brilliant. I'm
Sure.
already
Yes, I'm
that's
looking
already on
forward
my
to
list.
that. Yeah, and we speak often, so with any help I can offer,
So
I'm
if
here for
everybody
you.
want, whoever's on, if they want to download it, we would even do another class like in a week just to do like a group healing together, or have a exclusive special meeting for everybody who downloaded the 14 days, and we can all
Yeah.
work together and get our geniuses synced up. We could do that we
That'd
want to
be
heal the
fun.
planet, that we want to accelerate the RV, that we want to clear all the chemtrails. Because when you work with one, it's powerful, but when you get a bunch of geniuses working together, we can
Mm-hmm.
move mountains.
Absolutely. I love it. Let's do it. Thank you, everybody, for participating. And thank you, Ariel. This has been great.
It was really, really fun. It was so fun
Stoked.
to hang out with all these wonderful beings that are very, very knowledgeable about energy and vibration. That's really cool. Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah, how many
everybody.
people
you.
are on, Liz? How many people? Because I
About
can't see.
19, about 20 to 19.
Oh,
anyway,
great.
19
Good.
now. Yeah.
Good. Thank you all. I'm glad you made it. It's awesome. And I'm always available. Anybody can reach out to me, as many of you already know. So if there's anything I can do to help and to get things going, yeah, just feel free to reach out. So yeah,
Well, thanks, everyone.
Thanks everybody. Yeah, I know we've been on for a little while, so we can close it here, and many
There's a
good
question,
vibes
Kelly.
to everybody.
Someone's got a question.
Yeah,
Someone's
sure.
got their hand raised.
Oh, Rick, go ahead. Ask
Okay.
your question.
Oh, thanks.
Just one quick question. For the scalar waves, how far can they travel, like in a relatively average distance? Like
In your throughout the multiverse, that's my answer. No, go ahead, Ariel. I'm being, cosmic here.
Well, I guess there'd be tens on the average, but I was just like wondering on these small devices like this, I was just curious to see how far they traveled. That's all.
Yeah, Ariel can probably answer that more practically, but I know that we can receive throughout the multiverse. As a matter of fact, the Skyo or the Skio technology, I think, was used for people like in the space station and such to keep stats on them. So people that weren't even around, I think as long as you're in your local universe, it can travel well. But what do you have to say, Ariel?
Yeah, I mean, we're thinking that there's really, space and time. Space and time is just a construct of
Illusion.
of how we've been taught to think about the universe, so that we can be in 3D. But the universe is deeply interconnected. Scalar waves, it's going to be instantaneously reaching the consciousness of that person, completely regardless of distance. There is no distance that it would not be able to travel.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for your question.
Yeah, and of course, we're recording this. We will post this on Telegram and on the website at UNN as soon as possible.
Okay. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm going to stop recording if that's okay with everybody. I'm not going to end the call, but I'm just going to stop
Okay.
recording.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
I'm just stopping.